You're about to watch a conversation between me and Lawrence Craver, where his goal is to take his expertise as a fitness professional online and scale to 100K months as fast as humanly possible, while also delivering an excellent service. He tried before in the past, but had an issue in fulfillment, so now we're back again starting from scratch. My name's Chidester. I own EliteSales.com, and I've generated over $115 million in 6 years, on top of working with over 50,000 plus clients. So we're taking all those findings from doing so to help Lawrence achieve his dreams. Enjoy.
I'm really good at messaging. I'm really good at sales. Okay. My problem was fulfillment. Okay. Because, last year I was in George's mastermind. My closing was like 75, 80%. I was really good. It's a 2K offer. So it wasn't anything too crazy.
Were you selling people in your in-person PT or online?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really high close rate, bro.
Yeah. It was really good. My problem was fulfillment. My delivery sucked. And my clients, I brought in a lot of clients. None of them were happy. So it turned into like, it turned into like there was an issue with my offer, dude. And I was just looking at my offer and going like, what the is going on here? Because I want to get to the point where I could just bring people in and have it like nice and fluid, right? Nice and smooth. So,
but is it for the PT or is it online? Like, I just want to like
online.
But like training, fitness coaching.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so I spent a couple months updating the program. It's really awesome now. My clients that are in the program, I've gotten nothing but great feedback.
Before you go any further, do you know why they were saying the program wasn't good?
So my online offer is I help people get instant relief and lasting results from chronic pain so that they can thrive.
It's still pain though. Okay.
Yeah, it was my delivery of the program. Sometimes you have a focus on a lot of little details, especially in the first month. And some of them were like, that workout took me 2.5 hours. And I'm like, whoa, that should not be happening. So I had to go in, I had to shorten all the videos, but make sure I was still getting all the little details in there. And I just had to do a lot of stuff. But anyways, what I need a system. I got the messaging, I got the sales. I need a good system to do 100K in the next 100 days.
All right, that's a big goal, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's doable.
Is that crazy or?
It's not. I mean, who cares? I mean, it's gotta be a little crazy, right?
The only way he can accomplish that is by getting a huge influx of leads into his ecosystem. So we dived into how he could do that.
Like to make 100K, you have to make X amount of sales. So we got to talk about lead flow. How are you getting most of your leads?
Just organic right now, really.
Okay. When you say organic, are you reaching out or are they reaching out to you?
Both.
Followers or is it
it's
strangers?
Followers, or it's basically what I do is I go into groups and I start conversations in the comments, and then I have a lot of people reach out. Hey, I saw you post this in the comments, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Offer is I help people get instant relief and lasting results from chronic pain so they can thrive. It's 2K for right now, 4 months, 4 phases. Phase 1 is reset. Phase 2 is realign. Phase 3 is reinforce. Phase 4 is rebuild. Think of it like a physical therapy to fitness program. That's how we help people get instant relief and lasting results. The way you get lasting results is to get in shape so you don't get your less chance of getting injured down the road, right? Once you do the 4 months, they upsell to 6 or 12 months.
Do you have nutrition and training?
Yeah.
And all that? Okay, so it's all in one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Do you usually fix the pain first?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Let's backtrack your goal. 100K. So we need, let's say 50 sales. Now that could be a little lower because you have some people on recurring or stuff like that. But let's just say you need 50 sales in a month. Okay. So usually what that means is you need 500 sales calls. Okay. Because usually you'll close 10% of the calls, cancels, no shows, etc. Right? Okay. That usually means you need 5,000 leads. Okay. And that usually will mean like if the leads are $10, $50,000 on ad spend at $10. So that's a lot of money. Now, the problem really is like your price point. If you're only selling at 2K is not bad, but I feel if you were good at sales or you're pushing the envelope, you charge a little more.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you if I should.
I think it's a little low. Yeah. I think it's a little low. So this is the metrics you'd have to use with paid ads. Now, are you wanting to start 100% with paid ads? Do you want to start with organic and get into paid ads? Like,
I want to get started with paid. I hate just sitting there just messaging.
All right. So, but you understand the risks, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Just making sure you understand the risks. Okay. So if you're going to do paid, have you done boosted before?
Yes.
Okay. So I would start with boosted. Now, the big thing with ads is just knowing what the KPI should be. If you know what the KPI should be, then you're not surprised if you hit them, right? Like if I went to you and said, hey, Lawrence, you're going to go talk to 100 girls, you're going to get 1 number. Well, if you got 1 number, you don't give a But if I told you you're going to get 50 numbers, you're like, yo, what the I got 10 numbers. Like now you're upset. It's expectations.
Yeah.
So with boosted posts, what I try to shoot for, 10 to 20 cents per profile view. So when you look at the metrics, you can actually see how many people for what cost are looking at your profile. So 10 to 20 cents. Once they get there, they could click off, they could follow you, they could do whatever. So you want $1 to $2 per follower because it's going to cost more. If you did an example of that, you spend $1,000, 500 followers, 30% respond. Let's say you reach out to all of them. You have 5 to 10% book a call. So that's 150 people respond, 5 to 10%. So 7 to 15 calls, you close 3. That would be ideal. So if you spend $1,000 and you close 2 or 3 people, that'd be 4 to 6 grand. You make $3 grand profit, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
That is the metrics you could go for. Now, if you're not hitting these metrics, what you have to look at is it's usually because it's either too indirect or too direct. So too direct would be, I'm looking for 5 people with sciatica pain who want to get rid of it forever. That's super direct. That could drive costs up, but just keep in mind, these are lead indicators. Okay. So what does that mean? If you and me are competing, all right, and we have to go get as many numbers on the street as possible. If I talk to 10 girls and you talk to 100, most people would say, oh, Lawrence won because he talked to 90 more girls. But in a crazy reality, sometimes, not a lot, but very few times, maybe I would still beat you because my skill's so high. Okay, so what's the point of that? The point I'm trying to make is if you had a really direct post, and let's say your numbers were, 30 to 40 cents per profile view, and your cost per follower was $4, but you're booking a shitload of calls and making a lot of sales, it doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
But that doesn't usually work like that because it's like you still need enough at bats. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So these are the numbers you need to know and go off of. So if you were coming to me and you said, Tanner, I'm not getting results. I go, okay, like where are your KPIs? These are the KPIs you're measuring up against. That helps you know, okay, where do I look? So if your profile views are too high, have an ad issue. If your follower count is too high, it's an ad issue as well. If you're getting 30% responses, but you can't book calls, you have a messaging issue. Closing issue is like so does that tells you where to look. If you don't know what the numbers are in the business, you have no clue where to look, and then that gets really frustrating.
Right.
This is where you would start. Now,
when do I check my KPIs? Is that every day? Is that end of the week?
Yeah, every day, bro.
Every day?
Every day, yeah, because it adds up. So I'm not saying like if you have one bad day, that doesn't mean like, oh my God, but it helps you know when to shift.
And then how will you go for 2 days? And then you're like, oh, maybe I should.
No, usually, I'll be honest, usually if you run a new post and the new post right out of the gate has bad numbers, it's not like it's going to improve. It's going to stay the same.
Yeah.
So usually in the beginning, you're posting and you boost it for a couple hours and right away. And then it's like, didn't work. Next one. But once you get something that works, let that run.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. So boosted post is where you would start. And ideally, if you did this and you closed 3, even if you closed 2, you'd have $1,000 in, and let's say you had 4,000 plus out, so $3,000 profit. Okay, now you can do something.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
With the speed he wants to scale at, he will definitely need a team. So I dived into the first hires he will need to make to be successful and around what he will need to pay them.
After you make a couple sales, is your first hire. So we'll go to hires right here. First one's a VA to do the outreach.
I had a VA when I was in the mastermind, and
They're not very good, right?
No. He was from South Africa.
What do you pay him?
$3 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, that's what someone expected. So your option with a VA is either kind of get what you pay for, $3 an hour, or you pay a little more to get a higher quality caliber. Maybe you pay $8 an hour.
I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. Whatever tell me to do.
Okay. I think we pay ours a little more, not crazy. I think it's 5 to 8 an hour. Because usually in the Caribbeans, that seems to be better. We get a lot of VAs from Trinidad, so in the Caribbeans. Same time zone. They seem to understand culture a little bit better. Less issues. Whenever we go to the Philippines or South Africa, for example, I don't know. Sometimes I just think because of the time change and stuff, it's a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
So that's who you would hire first, because the first thing you're gonna run out of time on is doing all the outreach.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this person is not good enough to respond. Absolutely not. Okay. So this will be very in the beginning when you're starting. The best thing for you to do is to do everything.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be the best at it.
Yeah.
As soon as you are overwhelmed, the first thing you want to outsource is who sends the initial message. Because think about it, if you have to send 500 messages, but 150 respond, who gives a this is more important than this. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second hire, we're going to go into the ads in a second, but I want you to see this as a coach. So that's probably around 20 G's. Okay. So 20 G's is when you need a coach. Now, when I say this, I'm not saying it has to be at 20 G's. Like, oh, I'm at 20. It's just understanding how much fulfillment you have. So usually around 20K, it's like you got a lot of sales calls, you're doing a lot of messaging. It's like you're fucking overwhelmed. So the goal is always outsource the least important things first. Now, this is important, but if you stop making sales, the business dies.
Right.
You can f up fulfillment.
Yeah.
You'll still survive. That's not good. I understand that, but that's less important. Okay. So number 3 is then you're going to hire a setter to take over the messaging. That could be like 30 to 40 grand a month. Okay. And then really after there, 4 is like from 50 to 100K a month. You're going to get another coach probably and another setter. Okay. So you can be doing, just so you know, you could be doing $100,000 a month. All you should need is like VA, coach, setter. That's it. And then like, it's just if you need more of them, right? Setter, the reason you would do that is eventually when you're doing that much volume, you're going to have them do 6-hour shifts. If they do a 12-hour shift, they're not going to perform.
Right.
The plan for Lawrence is to get him to start creating lead generation with boosted posts. But if those don't work as well or he needs more volume, he'll need to run ads a different way. That is what we dive into next.
What's great about boosted posts is they're cheap. The downside when stuff's cheap is usually it takes more effort. You have to outreach, right? They're not going to just come to you. So if we want to get around that, the next thing I would do is you could do DMs and it could be retargeting. Okay. So what you're able to do is you start boosted posts, you now have incoming followers consistently, right? So let's say every day you spend $100, you have 50 new followers, 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 whatever. When you start to retarget, what you can do is you can choose a custom audience. And then what you choose is you choose your Instagram engagers, right? Because this is from IG. So you can do, hey, all my Instagram engagers in the last 180 days, I want you to shoot them this DM message. The benefit though, is you're already reaching out to people on boosted posts, but anyone who's engaged with your page at all will now get the DM ad. When they click, will come inside Messenger, right? So like a conversation, right? That's a conversation. So the benefit now is not only are you doing boosted posts, but you're getting super warm people. Because if someone came to your page and at least clicked on it, regardless of what you say, they are a warmer person or prospect than a complete stranger.
Yeah.
So that is the next step I would do. So hypothetically, if you were spending, I don't know, say you get up to like 5K a month on boosted, you do 5K a month on DMs, you could ride that all the way to 100 grand. Like you really don't have to do anything else. As long as you can get this to work, because doing anything more complex, it's just harder. It's not like complexity already comes by having more staff and more clients that you don't need to create.
Right.
If boosted post is working great, you could just do boosted post the whole way. But usually I try to have, hey, do some boosted, do some retargeting. Here is where like you could create your funnel system. When they click on the ad, usually it'll be like, hey, here's a link to the training based on your ad. They click there, they go to the opt-in, you have a VSL here, and then you book a call. And then they can book a call from the VSL, or they're messaging you, right? And they can book, sorry, I did that wrong. They can book from here in the message, or they can book from the VSL. That's all you really need to get to $100,000 a month. Like that is a strategy. Now, in terms of all the stuff, it's like, you could be like, how do I find a VA? How do I find a coach? What questions do I ask on the interviews? How do I set up boosted post? Like all that stuff you can ask, that's tactical, but this is the strategy.
Yeah. And that's what I need is kind of like the overview of
that's really all you have to do, bro. Like I wouldn't make it more complex than that. Now, if you start running ads and this goes south, this whole plan falls apart, right? You got to get this to work. But if this works, then you're just doing more of it. And realistically, like probably what's going to happen is you'll spend 20 to 30K. Let's just do the worst case. So let's say you spent 30K, you have 70K left, then you have your team's 20K, so you take home 50 grand. Okay. If you're at 20K, then probably what'll happen is you'll take home 60K. Now, but this is what I think you could realistically shoot for, like no lower than 50K. You could be 60 to 70K depending on how effective your ads are and then how cheap your team is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions or anything you need me to cover before I come look at your stuff?
How many days go by before you're like, yeah, this isn't?
When you post an image and you start boosting it, you're going to see the numbers right away.
Right.
Okay. So when you're saying, how many days do I know before it's not working? It's like, you'll know instantly on that post. Now, let's say you try a new post. It doesn't work. New post, new post, new post. You're 7 days in. It's like, okay, you're doing something fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Or it's like, you're targeting wrong or something like that. But usually boosted posts, it's pretty straightforward. I would say, like, especially, I have a client, dude. His name's Grant.
Yeah.
He gets $2 leads for sciatica.
Yeah, I know. I've watched your video with him a couple of times.
Right. So if he's getting $2 leads and you're doing a similar offer, like, I don't think you'll have an issue with this, especially like if you're like, hey, I'll fix your back pain. Dude, fucking everyone and their mom has back pain.
I know.
Now, if I'm running ads, let's say I'm doing DM ads and you're shooting for $10 cost per message, and one day it's 8, one day it's 10, one day it's 15, then it's 10, then it's 12. It's like, it doesn't matter when it goes up a little bit because it's like, you're looking at the last 7 days.
Okay.
With this though, this usually, if it's above KPI, it's never going to get back in KPI because right out of the gate, that's kind of like how many people saw it. So you're going to keep getting it. That would be like you running this DM ad. It's the same thing technically. And it's $20 out of the gate. It's not going to drop to fucking 10 probably.
Right.
It could maybe, but it's highly unlikely. So for this, all you have to do is you post something right away. And if it's in KPI, great. But ultimately it also comes down to like, are you getting these people to book in a calls? Cause maybe you're like, oh, Tanner, this post crushes, but like no one's very serious about buying. Like if I have a post about me holding a picture like in my awards, that's going to get a lot of engagement, but not as many people are serious about buying. But if I say, hey, I'm looking for 5 entrepreneurs to help scale their businesses. Oh, dude, everyone and their mom will click on that shit.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Finally, we need to make sure he has a proper funnel setup. The good news is he is already using our software, elite360.io. But now I need to check that his funnel is properly set up A to Z to maximize lead flow and conversions.
This is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Hop off. All right. So right now what this is saying is this is 100% of your traffic's going here. None of it's going here. Is that clear to you? Okay. So when I look at it, the cool thing too is you're in Elite 360. Okay. All right, so this is your okay, so first off, the opt-in needs to match the VSL. Your VSL is completely different words, okay? So let's look at your mobile. Okay, so you see this? Look at this. This is terrible. Yeah, it's terrible because like, look at your stuff. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, I just want to have that. And the reason I want to have that is not because it's bad, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
All right, now, so like first thing we could do is we could pull this up. So the way you do that, okay, you see this padding? Get rid of it. See how that pulls it up? Okay, same thing here. You can make a new headline. You see that? And then just put that there. Okay, so let's just do that for now. Okay, so we go here. Boom. All right. So this needs to go way down in size. It's way too fucking big because again, you don't want to make stuff so big that it's like it defeats the purpose of getting stuff above the fold. It says former NFL trainer reveals how to reduce pain. Okay, and then you move this up. So like you could have a little space, but you shouldn't have a ton. So if I come up here, I could do, 5. Let's say I do 5 and then I do 5. Okay. So I go here, 5. Okay. That's good. So like now if you still don't have space, I get rid of this. What I would do then is then this right here, right? If you think it'll help, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't even know if I get rid of this too. Because it's like, it's very clear what it is already. It's not like former NFL trainer reveals how to reduce pain, blah, blah, blah. And then you come here, you make a sub headline. Okay. So this is called a sub headline. And then what I would do is make a little bit of space. Okay. So it's like, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So you see this is above the fold now? This is above the fold? Okay. So, okay, you see how that looks way better?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go here. And then you want to make it as big as possible without getting too big. Okay. Okay. You see how the buttons right there?
Yeah.
So the only thing I don't like is this space here, but we can fix that later. I just don't like, I don't want to like create a whole new button because it's like leaking to stuff. Now with your pop-up, the way we could check that is you come over here. This is your form. and it says go to the next step. Okay, cool. Okay, so save this, publish. And this is how your page should look, because now when someone comes here, it's like very clear what it is you do. And if you want more space here, I don't know if we do want more space, but let's see. Yeah, like that's how it needs to look. And then if there's anything getting in the way that's not necessary, you want to delete it. So like even this you could delete, but it's okay, because when you look on mobile's the most important. Now they can see it, right? Desktop isn't as big a deal, but it's still like this little space here. I don't know why it's here, but other than that, we're good. Okay, so now we get here. This is your proof book page. Okay, so we go to this page. This is your VSL page. All right, this headline needs to be exactly the same. Like it's not. You see this? It says book your complimentary session below. I put that right here. I would get rid of that. First off, you shouldn't have all this. Like if you just had your headline from your last page, you'd be like, former NFL trainer, da da da, and then it's like within 5 minutes. This video will be up here, and then you could see your calendar. And then below your calendar, you just put right here. You just put
Book your free assessment.
Yeah, I'd be like schedule.
Because what I do on the calls, I'll do a little bit of an assessment.
Free assessment. Below, something like that. And then you can make these words a little bit smaller. Okay. So you can decide if you want it that small, but then right underneath that, if you put the calendar, you see how that's like better?
Yeah.
See how it's like pulls it up? So it's like the thing you want them to do is right on the screen the second you see it, which just makes sense. More people are going to do it. That's pretty much it, unless you have more questions on that. I mean, the funnel is good. The only issue I saw was you need to fix the VSL page, but the rest is fine. You would only use this funnel though if you're doing a 2-step or you're doing DM ads. I wouldn't do it with a boosted, because it's like, hey, thanks for following me. By the way, like, I mean, you could, but they're not asking for it, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I think.
And ultimately, the whole point is just to book calls. Like, you don't really give a shit if you use this funnel or not. You're just trying to book calls.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So then, what do I do now? What do I have to do to make 100K in the next 100 days?
You got to start doing boosted posts, and then as soon as you start to scale, then you start to hire people. And then you rinse and repeat that process to 100K. So it would be like, you start boosting, you make some sales, okay? You get to 20K, you get a coach. And then as you scale, you're just continuing to hire more people.
All right. So I want to do 100K over the next 100 days, starting from today.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to move your ass if you're going to do that. That's a lot of money, bro.
In less than 2 hours, Lawrence had a proven roadmap of what he needed to do to hit $100,000 in a month in less than 90 days. If you want to see how I helped Devin go from $0 to $200,000 a month in less than 60 days, click here.